welcome to Quirky Books with Katie. Today I have a huge summer book haul for you guys. As some of you may know, once you become a part of the BookTube community, at some point or another you kind of develop a book buying addiction or obsession, and I think it's safe to say I've officially joined that train. So I'm actually going to make this video into two parts because I have a ginormous number of books, 23. Don't judge me. I've gotten most of these over the past 2 months, and a bunch of them I got on sale, and I've been getting some money at my job lately, so I've kind of gone on a book buying spree, and it's an issue. My friends even tried to hold an intervention for me, but that's another story. And before I get started, I want to apologize for the weird lighting. Since I am filming with this as my new background, I'm trying to figure out what kind of lighting looks good, so if it looks crappy, I apologize. So let's get started. The first 4 books I have are the ones that I was really looking forward to for a while, and they're all May releases. The first book is The Book of Broken Hearts by Sarah Ockler. Sarah Ockler is one of my favorite contemporary writers, and when I heard that she was coming out with a new book, I had to have it. And I'm really excited to read this one. I have not read it yet. I plan to read it at the beach, but it is about a girl named Jude, and her sisters have kind of told her to stay away from the Vargas brothers because they have all had their hearts broken by these boys. And Jude, of course, who does she fall in love with but a Vargas brother? But I've heard that this book has a lot of heart, and there's a lot of good reviews about it. The next book is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Grisha series. I read Shadow and Bone, which is the first book in the series, I think last month or the month before, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite books of this year so far. It's kind of like a Russian steampunk high fantasy novel. It's really good. If you haven't read it, I really suggest checking it out. The last book ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, nothing too big, but this book kind of follows Alima and Maul in the Darkling, and it looks really good. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I literally yell at myself for this every day. Katie, why haven't you read this yet? I will get around to it. I'm lazy and in the middle of a reading slump, so we will see when that happens. Next is Reboot by Amy Tintera. This is actually a 2013 debut novel. I have already read this one, and I think I'm going to talk about it in my wrap-up video, but it's about this girl named Ren, and she is a reboot. And in this futuristic dystopian society, when you die from a certain disease, you kind of get rebooted, and the longer you stay dead for, the more powerful you are, and Ren is a 178, and that is the highest number, so she's kind of the most powerful reboot, and she ends up being assigned to kind of guard and teach this reboot who's only number 22, which is basically human. Shit goes down, high action-packed adventure book. It's for fans of Legend by Marie Lu or Divergent, those kind of action-y books. The last of the May releases is Goddess by Josephine Angelini. Sorry, you really can't see this cover. But this is the last book in the Starcross series, which is one of my all-time favorite series. And in this book, it kind of is the final battle between the gods and the scions. And I didn't enjoy it that much, but if you have read the series, I highly suggest picking it up and going and finishing the series by reading this one. The next 4 books that I'm going to talk about are actually books that I bought while I was on vacation in the beach in New Jersey, and while I was there I found a bunch of little independent bookstores, and I love bookstores, so whenever I find independent bookstores, not Barnes & Noble, I always try and buy something and support them. I kind of went overboard. The only 2 things I bought on my vacation were jewelry and books. How sad is that? It's not really sad because I got books out of the deal, but the first book I got on vacation is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. So many people have told me to read this, saying that this is one of the best books of all time. It has a really interesting concept. Well, I don't know that much what it's about, but it's takes place during the Holocaust, and I know it's about this girl who kind of either keeps books or tries to rescue them. It sounds really good, and some people have said this is the best book of all time for them, or one of the best. People say that about The Fault in Our Stars too. So we'll see. Hopefully I like this one. Next is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I am a huge Jane Austen fan, and I've been kind of trying to collect some of her books. And I liked this one because it has it has the flower on the cover. Apparently this is I don't know if it's like an abridged version or something, but it says it's for like teenagers. I hope it's not abridged, but it looks really good. And I actually read a retelling of this book called For Darkness Shows the Stars, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I kind of wanted to read the genius behind that, and I love Jane Austen. Next is The Elite by Kiera. This is the second book in the Selection series, and this is a really popular series. I liked the Selection, but I didn't love it. It's kind of what it sounds like. It's kind of like The Bachelor meets The Hunger Games. It's about this society where when a royal gets married, they kind of pick certain girls, and the prince gets to like pick who he wants to marry in a sense. And the Selection I can't even remember how it left off. I read it like in December. And I wasn't originally going to pick this up for a while until it was in paperback, but I saw it, and it has such a pretty cover. I love these covers. So I had to pick it up, and I'm totally Team Maxon, by the way, and I heard that crap goes down between him and America in this book, so we're going to have to see. Hopefully Maxon still has his head screwed on right. The last book I got when I was on vacation is Angelfall by Susan E. This is an angel book. Obviously, I don't know that much about it, but I got it because it was only $7, and some people have said this is the best angel book they've ever read. I've read a bunch of angel books. Usually they're mixed reviews for me. Some of them are really good, like Mortal Instruments, one of my favorite series. Then others, like the Fallen series, aren't the best, so we will see. And the next 5 or 6 books, I believe, are books that I got on a trip to Barnes & Noble. I literally was carrying this stack of books throughout the store, and everyone was looking at me like I was crazy. Book nerd problems, am I right? But most of these books are books that I've already read, but since I get most of my books in the library, if I really like a book, I don't usually own it, so then I have to go out and buy it myself. First is Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. This is about a girl named Brittany who's all like the richer, like popular girl, and a guy named Alex who is in a gang and lives on the poor side of town. This is a really great book. It's a great contemporary, one of the best I've ever read. I actually read it while I was on vacation, and it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet meets West Side Story. Next is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is probably one of my favorite contemporaries of all time, if not my favorite. It's about a girl named Anna who gets shipped off to live in Paris by her father, and she meets Etienne St. Clair, the hot American guy who has a British accent but also speaks French. Very, very amazing. I talk about this book all the time. It's a favorite on BookTube. Amazing. Check it out. Next is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I talked about the sequel to this earlier, and I love this book so much that I had to go and purchase it. It is about this girl named Alina, and she discovers that she is a Grisha, or someone with magical powers, and she is shipped to live off with the Darkling, who is this like evil creeper guy. Everyone ships him and Alina together. I do not. I'm an Alina and Maul person and Maul is kind of like Alina's best friend from when she was little. Amazing, amazing book. This is recommended by Veronica Roth, and it's amazing, so go check it out. Next is Grave Mercy by Robin LaFevers, and this is a historical fiction novel. It is huge. How many pages even is this? Oh my god, it's like 500 pages. I've already read this, one of my favorite books of the year as well. It's about these girls who kind of go to this convent, and the convent is in the patron saint of death, so they kind of go and do his bidding, and it's really creepy, but it's one of my favorite historical books. Except this one time I told my chem teacher asked what I was reading, and I was reading this, and I told her about it, and I'm pretty sure she was going to report me to SST. But she didn't, so that's always good. What do you guys do when someone asks what you're reading and it's something completely weird? Most people just think I'm crazy and shrug it off, but whatever. And the last book for part 1 is Fallen by Lauren Kate. I got this book because it was on sale for $5, but it is an angel book, sort of, and it's kind of like a reincarnation book. I just read it, and it was really, really confusing, but it is about, like, angels and reincarnation, and I read it, and I still don't even know what it's about. So thank you guys for watching. If you've heard anything about any of these books, comment down below. And I should have part 2 up semi-soon-ish, hopefully. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you again soon.